The Lloydminster Rotary Club welcomed a guest from the Chamber of Commerce today. It was a full house today at the club. Small businesses were the highlight as a representative from the Chamber came to discuss the progress of small businesses this year in our community, as well as announce the nominations for the Business of the Year Award.
So every year the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce honors businesses for multiple categories, from Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Customer Service of the Year. A lot of these have been nominated by other members in our community. Certain ones, like the Lifetime Achievement Award, I get to pick somebody from our community that's a deserving member of that. How our system works for most of them, it's a nomination. The community will nominate it, and then we have an unbiased committee that has been chosen. We don't have any effect on it whatsoever, and they'll read through some applications. They'll see what they've done, how they could fit winning these awards, and then they choose out of a selection. Usually there's 2 to 3 different nominees in each category, and then these people will choose it, and then we find out that day as well.
97.6% of businesses in Lloydminster have less than 100 employees, making the small business owner a necessity in our community.
What we're really trying to do is just bring awareness to just the vital part that small business plays in our community. And I believe in Lloydminster, it's over 97% of the businesses in Lloydminster have less than 100 employees. So that constitutes them as a small business, and so they essentially are the backbone of our entire economy here. We've got some of the bigger companies that we appreciate, but it's literally the small businesses that keep this community thriving and moving forward. So,
the 2023 Lloydminster Business Awards take place this Thursday at the Lloydex. Violet Eyes Optometry has been a part of the Lloydminster community for 10 years and are celebrating in a big way.
We founded Violet Eyes to change the name to Violet Eyes in 2013, moved to this office in 2015, and the community has supported us so well that owning a business here is just a no-brainer. It's amazing. Lloyd's awesome, and we're really happy to be in the community here.
Being able to cater to the community for 10 years has been really special to the doctors at Violet Eyes.
What's special about, being here for 10 full years is that we've had the support of the community, but we start with, kids coming in, and then their parents want to come to see us, and then as we all grow, we grow together. So it's just a really big family affair, and we're here to be your optometrists for generations to come.
To celebrate 10 years in business, Violet Eyes is holding a big trunk show and frame sale for new and existing customers.
We're going to have 4 to 5 different designer frame lines here, and all of our frames will be 50% off with the purchase of lenses. It's been a couple years since we've done one of these big customer appreciation sales, so we're hoping people come out and enjoy. And we also have a renovation going on that is almost done,
yep.
So we have some of it to show off, so that'll really help expand patient care going forward too.
It's time now for this week's edition of Retrospect. Here is our Ty Roswell.
Starting off Retrospect this week in 1994, Midwest mayors argue for better cuts from video lottery terminals in private businesses.
It was always intended that gambling, that if people were to gamble, that there should be a community benefit.
Right now, about 15% of money raised from VLTs goes toward the private business owner that has the machine in his or her establishment. The rest goes to the provincial government to fund everything from sports to the arts and wildlife. Midwest mayors have a problem with that. They want 25% of VLT money returned to the community.
All communities, whether they have VLT machines or not, are impacted because even though they may not have VLT machines in their tiny communities, people from their community are still spending dollars in VLTs somewhere, and thereby not being able to support the local charities.
Cold Lake doesn't have VLT, but Grand Center, which is just 5 kilometers down the road, people do go there and do spend a lot of money. And that's why our recommendation of per capita is to make equitable to all communities. Definitely, if we get VLTs in Cold Lake, the problem hits home right there.
The mayors say any money from VLTs should be split between the municipalities and the provincial government, with part of the funds going to rehabilitate problem gamblers. But the province says the deficit has to come first.
Because of our own deficit problems, a lot of that money is now going into GRF to help us deal with the deficit. I guess after we deal with the deficit, then what is an equitable solution for the distribution of these funds back to the community?
Premier Klein says a committee is being set up to look at both sides of the issue.
We will work with the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association and the Association of Municipal Districts and Counties to set up a council or some kind of a committee to arrive at a formula for the equitable distribution of these funds.
Local MLAs Leo Vasseur and Paul Langevin were asked to leave the meeting.
I was a little disappointed that I could not take part in the meeting, but on the other hand, I understand politics and how it works, and I think that with any government in power, the same policy would apply, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over that.
This is a matter between the mayors and government. And the last time I looked, as much as we'd like to have Mr. Langevin, and we like his cooperation and his participation, but the fact is Mr. Langevin and Mr. Vasseur, they're elected officials, but they are not, and I repeat, they are not government.
And although Klein admits VLTs can be detrimental to a community, he says any money raised and put toward the province's deficit is good news.
And in 1998, Cold Lake commercial fishermen use a new netting technique to catch fish.
Only walleye. We try and monitor the local fisheries, do the right thing for the fish population.
It's safe to call George Walker a fish guy. He works alongside the commercial fishermen in Cold Lake. You won't catch him talking about the one that got away, rather the ones who live there. This fishery technician helps to monitor fish populations in the area. Commercial fishing in the prairies, yeah, it's been something that's been going on for many years. However, many people, including myself, aren't aware of this fact. Many residents of Cold Lake come here to the lake and rely on it for their income, and that's no fish story.
Commercial fishing here in the prairies, it has a long history, actually. It's a steady income, and many, many families in this area made their living by commercial fishing over the years.
That old industry now has a new trick. It's called a trap net, and it works something like this. The mesh corrals the fish in a V-shaped box, which allows both commercial and sport fish to keep swimming until they are brought to the surface to be harvested.
These are all whitefish.
We'll sort out the pike, walleye, lake trout, and throw them back, and the whitefish get harvested, and everybody's happy. The sportsman's happy, and the commercial fisherman's happy.
Lake trout. We'll release him.
So the sport fish are released and everyone's happy, right? Well, not quite. Some people in the industry feel that release doesn't guarantee survival due to stress in the cage. Others foresee the whitefish population becoming depleted. But both Walker and English feel this is the environmental choice and hope the method catches on.
It's a win-win situation for Cold Lake if we can keep it going. And but it's new, and we would like to be able to make it work in other places.
And that's it for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
Now we are officially in the second half of October, and we are still seeing some sunny skies and like plus 20 weather even.
Yes, yes. It was a very nice day out. There was a little bit more of cloud coverage, but I said that on Friday that's to be expected for today. But yeah, we did see some sun throughout the day. It was a fairly nice day out and only 17 degrees, which is very nice. to see, especially like you said, we're already in the second half of October. Halloween is coming up, and usually we see some sign of snow coming. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it didn't just jinx it. But we're still sitting at very nice weather. 17 degrees here in Lloydminster, and that wind is only at 17 kilometers per hour. So comparatively to other days we've seen last week, especially, the wind isn't a huge big deal today, which is nice. And then across the region in Alberta, 17 in Wainwright, Vermilion, Marwayne, and Cold Lake, also out in Bonnyville as well. 16 in Lac La Biche, St. Paul, and Vegreville. 15 out in Edmonton, and then Provost is sitting at 18. And then on the Saskatchewan side, 19 in Macklin, 18 in North Battleford and Pearceland, 17 in Isle Cross, Green Lake, and Meadow Lake, and then 16 in St. Walburg and in Maidstone. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to 7 degrees, considerably cloudy, so there's going to be a heavy cloud presence, and then the wind will start picking up later on in the evening. And then tomorrow, expect a mostly cloudy day in North Battleford, high of 16. A little bit breezy, so it's going to feel a little bit more cooler than that 16 as the wind is coming in at 24 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake will drop down to 7, very cloudy, and expect some rain showers overnight tonight, and then a little bit more of a drizzle as you get more into the evening. So definitely expect some rain showers overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, again, expect some showers in the afternoon. A very cloudy day out with only a high of 12. So it's going to be a little bit more of a cooler day out in Cold Lake, and especially with that rain as well. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to 5 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, and then expect some rainfall overnight, about 81% chance of some precipitation. And then tomorrow, occasional rain throughout the day with only a high of 10. So it's going to be a very cooler, it's going to be a more cooler day out tomorrow. And then that wind will be at 20 kilometers per hour. Over the next 3 days, like I said, expect some rain tomorrow, about an 84% chance with a low of 2, so we'll have a cooler evening. And then on Wednesday, cloudy skies, but not as cool as tomorrow with a high of 14 and a low of 6. And then on Thursday, we warm right back up to 19 degrees as your daytime high with a low of 6, a mix of sun and clouds, similar to what we saw today. And then we have a few viewer photos. Thank you so much for sending these photos of the eclipse that happened. Gorgeous, gorgeous shots. Thank you so much for sending them in. And if you'd like to see any of your weather photos on our show, please submit them on our Facebook page, Stingray Pets and Weather Photos. As your first look at your weather forecast, I'll have a more in-depth look for your overnight temperatures later on.
Thank you, Abby. Coming up after the break, we see the development of a conspiracy group creating tensions in a small Saskatchewan town. The Lakeland Wrestlers women's volleyball team had their home opener this past Saturday against the Concordia Thunder. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
With last year's national championship banner now hanging overhead, the women's volleyball team hope to continue their championship form this season. The first set was a close back-and-forth set, with neither team gaining too much of a lead, but the Wrestlers were able to finish the set off strong with a 25-20 victory. The second set started out similarly, but the Wrestlers then went on a good run of serves, winning the second set 25-17. The third set, the Wrestlers completely took over with a dominant 25-9 victory, completing the 3-set sweep. Kaylee Lewick was the player of the game for the Wrestlers with an impressive .667 hitting percentage.
We had some jitters, and I feel like that's pretty normal for our home opener. We got a big crowd. We had a great turnout, so very big support from our community, so that heightens everything. Home opener, lots of stuff to think about, but yeah, we got our nerves settled, and then we finally started to play the Wrestler way.
While the Wrestlers have started off their season without losing a set yet in their 2 wins, head coach Austin Dyer says there's still plenty of things to work on and improve to make sure they keep up their good form.
Real good way to start our season. We got a lot of work to do. You know, even though even though we've returned the majority of our team from last year, we got some players that are a little bit banged up right now, and so we're battling a bit of an injury bug here, and so it just makes us have to change a little bit and have to work a little bit harder. And so we got a lot of things that we still need to work out, and things that we got to work through. But got pretty good depth on our team, and players that can do multiple things. And so yeah, looking forward to what this season's going to bring.
The Rustlers will next have a 2-game series against the King's University Eagles. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Now here's more weather with our Abby St. John.
Thanks so much, Callan. We are sitting at 16 degrees here in Lloydminster. We saw a mix of sun and cloud today, which was still a very nice day out, and that wind wasn't too strong. 15 kilometers per hour is what we're sitting at right now. So for the most part, it was a very nice day out, I will say. Taking a look across the region, 17 in Cold Lake, 16 in Athabasca, 15 out in Edmonton. Red Deer and Whitecourt are sitting at 12 degrees, 8 in Edson, 9 in Rocky Mountain House, and then Jasper's sitting at 11. And then on the Saskatchewan side, 17 in Meadow Lake, Prince Albert, Melfort, and Saskatchewan, and North Battleford sitting at 18 degrees. If we take a look up north in Saskatchewan, 12 degrees in Stony Rapids and Uranium City, 17 in Buffalo Narrows and La Loche, 14 in Wollaston Lake, 16 in South End, and 15 in Flin Flon. And then on the Alberta side, 15 out in Slave Lake, Peace River and Fort Chipewyan, 18 in Fort Mac, 14 in High Level, and 10 out in Grand Prairie. And then down south in Alberta, 21 in Medicine Hat, 17 in Lethbridge, 18 in Coronation, 10 out in Calgary, and Banff sitting at 15. And then on the Saskatchewan side, 19 in Kindersley, Swift Current, and Regina, 21 in Estevan and Moose Jaw, and 18 out in Yorkton. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to 7 degrees, considerably cloudy overnight tonight, and then that wind will pick up to about 19 kilometers per hour. And then overnight tonight in Cold Lake, expect some evening showers, followed by the occasional rain. Later on in the evening will be at 7 degrees, and that wind will only be at 15 kilometers per hour. And then overnight across the region, 6 degrees in Meadow Lake, Provost, and in Paradise Hill, 7 degrees in Bonnyville and Isla Cross, and then Meadow Lake, Bonnyville, and Paradise Hill. Expect to see some showers later on in the evening. And then more overnight temperatures, 6 in Myrnam and Pearceland, 8 in Unity, 5 in Wainwright, and then 8 in Calgary. And again, some areas, Myrnam, Pearceland, and Calgary, expect some showers overnight tonight. And then here in Lloydminster, same as most of the region as well, 81% chance that we'll see some showers overnight tonight. It'll be mostly mainly cloudy skies, but we are expecting some showers later on with a low of 5, and that wind will be at 17 kilometers per hour. And then over the next 7 days, a high of 10 and a low of 2 for tomorrow. So it's going to be a relatively cool day out, and then expect some rain throughout the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, cloudy sky, but not as cool, with a high of 14 and a low of 6. On Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, and we warm back up to 19 degrees. So it's going to be a fairly warmer day out on Thursday with a low of 6. And then on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 15 and a low of 3. On Saturday, to start your weekend off, it maybe feel a little bit cooler. It will be a little bit more windier in the morning with a high of 11 and a low of 2. And then on Sunday, there's about a 59% chance of some showers with a high of 9 and a low of -1. And then on Monday, back on Monday, it's very cool, single-digit temperatures, +4, it will be the daytime high. A little bit of a chance of some evening rain with a low of -4. But as a look at your 7-day forecast, we'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today for Primetime Local News, I'm joined by Jacqueline Weed with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And to start, before we get into why we're here, can you talk a little bit about what Big Brothers Big Sisters is for those unaware?
We match children from our community, ages 6 to 18, that needed additional positive role models. So our volunteers are screened and trained, and then they go out and do things in the community that interest both of them. Evenings, weekends, and then our in-school mentor program is an hour a week at one of the schools, and they're paired with a child that they have similar interests to.
So we are here today to talk about Big Pasta and Noodle Week in Lloydminster. And can you just talk a little bit about what this event is for Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Yeah, this is a new event that we're starting this year, Big Pasta and Noodle Week. And being as tomorrow is National Pasta Day, we thought we'd kick it off in a big way. So from October 17th to the 24th, we have 8 partnering restaurants, and every signature pasta and noodle dish that's ordered at those restaurants, $3 will be donated back to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Can you speak on what the proceeds are going to be going towards?
All proceeds, as with anything that we do for our fundraising, will go towards supporting our mentoring programs. So creating new matches, supporting the matches along their journey, and then, all the things that come along with that is checking in with them along the way, screening and training new volunteers. So anything that goes into the mentoring.
Now, this is the first iteration of the event. Is this something that you'd like to see happen annually?
Yeah, we would love for it to become an annual event. We've got some great partner restaurants that have come on board. Some of them are our ones that also participate for Poutine Week. So they were excited to get to do noodles instead of poutine. So yeah, we're hoping that it'll be an annual event.
Can you talk about the behind-the-scenes work that went on to make this event happen?
There's not as much work for us. We reached out and contacted the restaurants and said, are you interested? Here's what we're thinking. For them, they looked at their menus and decided if they were going to use a dish they already have or if they were going to create a new one. So some restaurants have created a completely new dish that isn't even on their menu. So that's super exciting. So I would encourage people to try to get out to as many of the restaurants as they can. There's a wide variety of choices, and they may come up with a new favorite. You never know.
Lastly, where are the locations that this event is taking place, and are there any last comments that you'd like to make?
We have Spiro's, we have the Gold Horse Casino Restaurant, Mr. Bill's, Cheers, Chow Bio, Extreme Donair, and the Long Branch are all the ones taking part. They can people can check it out on our Facebook page. We've got menus for those restaurants and what their dish is in case they have dietary issues. So we're super excited, and that'll start tomorrow. And of course, we always need volunteers. So if anybody's interested in becoming a mentor, or even would just like more information about our programs or fundraising side of things, they can message us on our Facebook page or they can give us a call at the office.
All right, perfect. That covers everything, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for taking the time. And be sure to check out one of those locations for this week only to support Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
We have Jeff joining us from the Edmonton award-winning country band, the Prairie States. Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. I absolutely appreciate your time. So we are going to be talking about your latest single, Trouble Is Here, in a few minutes. I absolutely love the song. So excited it came out. But first, let's talk about you guys going down to Nashville here pretty soon. What are you guys going to be doing down there?
We're jumping on a plane and we're going to go do some more writing. We've got a whole bunch of songs in the can ready to go, and it's time to get some new material. So we're pretty excited about that.
That is so exciting. I'm always looking forward to new Prairie States music. So for 2024, can you talk to us a bit about what your plans are for the year ahead?
Well, sure. We're gonna we'll be finishing 2023 with the tour with Jess Moskaluk, and then once we get off the road, we're gonna take a breather and then jump right back into things. Lots of new music coming, and the summer's starting to book up, so we hope to be going all across Canada this year or next year and seeing everybody. It's gonna be great.
That is so exciting. And yes, you are going on tour with Jess Moskaluk as a part of her Christmas themed tour. That is so exciting. Tell us a bit about that.
Oh, it's great. We're gonna go to all of these places that we've never played before, which is very exciting. Yeah, 3 weeks on the road with Jess, and yeah, we just can't wait. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the dead of winter in Western Canada, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
That is so fun. You guys are going to have a great time. And I know we're not even at Halloween yet, but what is one of your favorite Christmas songs?
Oh man, uh, I think the boss Bruce Springsteen, man, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's so much fun. It's live, and he's got the whole band rocking. That's a good one.
Great choice. Great choice. Well, on that stage, you're also going to be performing one of your new songs here. Trouble Is. It was just released here, and I love it. Tell us a bit more about this song and what it means to you and how it came to be.
Well, the song is was kind of special because it was on our very first writing trip down to Nashville, and we dropped Mike off, and he was pretty intimidated. It's this guy named Jim Collins. We brought him to Jim's house, so he wrote it with Jim Collins and Wade Kirby, and Jim's got a beautiful, large mansion in a private neighborhood on the outskirts of Nashville. And Nash was like, "What am I getting myself into here?" and he went in. And these two guys have written legendary hits for everyone from Blake Shelton to Kenny Chesney and everyone in between. And so we picked up Nash, a few hours later, and he had the biggest smile on his face and jumped in the car and he played "As Trouble Is." And we were all like, "Yeah, that's the one." And it was one of the first songs we wrote on that trip, and immediately we knew it was going to be recorded. And the hook of the whole thing is just, trouble is that you just don't have enough time to spend with people you love, and just to really enjoy and appreciate every moment that you have.
For sure. And the music video was just released today as well, Friday, October 13th. It is available everywhere everyone can view music videos. But tell us a bit about the video.
The video is really fun to shoot, except for the mosquitoes. So check out the video and see if you can see us trying not to swat and blow blow the mosquitoes away from our faces. But yeah, it was a beautiful summer night. We worked with Cooper and Hara. They're an Edmonton-based group and their team, and just shot this really sweet little love story. It's about the story that goes along with it is a guy is trying to get to this date with his girl, and he's arranged the whole thing, and we're sitting there playing for them, serenading them, and she's patiently waiting for him, and he runs into every kind of trouble you can imagine, starting with his broken down car. It's a really sweet video.
I saw a little bit of a teaser of it earlier and I thought this is going to be a gooder. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out later today. Now, Jeff, where can everybody find more about the Prairie States and where can everybody get your music?
Well, everything, you can go to theprairiestates.com, and the links to everything are there, your favorite streaming platform, video, and everything else you could possibly need.
Perfect. Jeff, thank you so much for your time today. It was a great chat. It was a great chat with you.
Well, thanks, Sarah. Always appreciate talking with you.
We've got one more story before we're wrapped up today, and it's a bit controversial, a little upsetting.
A little.
It could soon become more expensive to subscribe to Netflix. The streaming service could be eyeing a price hike after it reports its earnings on Wednesday. Netflix has so far avoided raising its subscription rate, instead increasing profits by curbing password sharing, which hasn't affected me at all, but that's another thing, I guess. That measure likely brought Netflix an additional 6 million subscribers. Analysts say they expect Netflix will raise the prices of its ad-free option to nudge more subscribers to the standard plan, where commercials help bring in more revenue.
Yeah, I don't fully agree Because, you know, the whole point of Netflix, they came out and said, you know, we're going to be cheaper than cable. We're not going to have commercials. You know, we're better than cable. They wanted people to cancel their cable subscriptions and get Netflix. So they're kind of going back on their original branding. And I understand the need to having to raise the prices. It happens with Disney Plus and other subscriptions. But they're going back on their original brand, and I think that's kind of where they're losing it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much streaming services have become like cable, but a worse version of it.
Yep.
That is all the time we have for you on Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.